do if you knew you could not fail? Let me ask you again. What would you do if you knew you could not fail? This question, I hope, will inspire us to try and accomplish our goals. Let's take fear out of the equation. What are your biggest dreams? If I can ask everybody in the audience to please close their eyes. No, really. Close your eyes. No peeking. What if one day you did not know? Visualize this. You walk into a crowded room and no one is staring at you from head to toe with curiosity in their eyes. Or your mother doesn't say to you, "Come on, Lauren. Come on. Stand up tall. Walk heel toe. Heel toe. 5 more steps and you can sit down. I promise." Or what if one day you walk into the grocery store and the cashier says to you, "Would you like to donate $1 for CP research?" Or one day you can just say CP instead of Cerebral Palsy, because everyone will know what it stands for. Please open your eyes. 2 words. Be courageous. Be courageous. 2 words, so simple. 2 words that I've lived with my whole life. 2 words that have inspired me. 2 words that I hope will inspire you. 2 words that I hope will inspire a movement. My name is Lauren Walier. I have cerebral palsy, and this is my story. From the time I was a baby, being born at 14 ounces, to the millions of falls, bumps, bruises, and constant bloody knees. 3 surgeries, Botox injections, hours of weekly therapy sessions, raising casts on both feet and legs at the same time, riding a 17-hand thoroughbred horse confidently, or a fast go-kart better than any boy in my neighborhood, to learning how to walk 6 different times, and to spending hours upon hours learning how to read and write, and now loving them both. I'm sure several of you are sitting here and shaking your heads saying, yes, we have experienced some of the same challenges. But let me ask you, what have you learned? For me, some of these things may not have worked out so well, but those 2 words, be courageous, are a part of all of us. Nonetheless, every step of the way. I'd like to share with you my story of how I became involved with Reaching for the Stars. I was in 6th grade when I attended my first awareness meeting, sponsored by Reaching for the Stars, called Successful Adults with CP. This was the worst, but best day of my life. I will never forget this day. I remember driving through boatloads of Atlanta traffic. We couldn't find a parking spot, and we even walked into the wrong room. But finally, we arrived. And thank God we did, because what happened next changed my life. We arrived just in time to hear John Quinn speak. He inspired me so because of his successful career and how he never once let CP get in the way. We also heard Michael Cutter speak. He spoke of his son, and that really hit home with me. I always worried whether or not my children and mine, if their mother was different. I discovered that night that there was no federal funding for research, no successful treatments, and of course, no cure. I was devastated. I knew that night this was my path. I was on fire inside and ready to make a difference for the 17 million people in the world with CP. I discovered that night that I wanted to be the voice for those who do not have their own. My first fundraiser as an ambassador for Reaching for the Stars validated that this was my calling. Near my house, there's an outdoor concert series called Home by Dark. James Casto donates 10% of the ticket sales for that evening to a charity of his choice. We asked James if he would consider Reaching for the Stars. He agreed. When I arrived, I went around to all the tables spreading awareness about what I was doing. Then I got up and shared my message. My message was one of hope, awareness, and how I wanted to be the voice for those who do not have their own. I got a standing ovation, and people had tears in their eyes. It was a very emotional and raw moment. A couple weeks later, I received a thank you card from a family who attended the concert that evening, thanking me for making a difference with what I was doing. They then told me that they had a 9-year-old son, Jake, who was nonverbal and had CP. They thanked me for being his voice that evening. Sorry, my throat's a little dry. That night, I raised $400. But most importantly, it touched my heart. It made me want to fight harder. Let's just say, if life gave me lemons, I made lemonade that night. Now, most of you might think, wow, $400, that's a lot of money. But that's like starting an ocean with a teaspoon. Think about it. 800,000 people have this disability in the country. If every person raised $400 each, which is absolutely doable, we have now raised, as a group, $320 million. That's a third of $1 billion. That's a much larger teaspoon. Now ask yourselves, what could we achieve with all this funding? I want to share with you some of my successes. 3 years ago, I found a unique therapy program called the Symptom Recovery Model. This program is literally changing my body both inside and out. When I started this program, I was in a wheelchair because I could only walk very short distances before becoming majorly fatigued. I wasn't sleeping through the night, and I would start my mornings exhausted. My breathing was also very laboring. It's amazing to see my gait changing and my body functions improving. It's been 3.5 years. I am now sleeping through the night. My endurance and energy level have improved greatly, and I can finally tie my own shoes. My doctor says at the end result, you won't even know. And I remember thinking, you won't even know what? And she said, you won't even know that you have cerebral palsy. Imagine that. I won't even know. My mom says, that's crazy good stuff. Wherever you are in the spectrum of CP, mild to severe, anyone can benefit from a program like this. The problem is, programs like this are rare and not available to the masses. My doctor says that traditional therapy, because most people are treated in traditional therapy, that traditional therapy is less than adequate because you're not even maintaining the proper body functions to improve. Becoming an ambassador for Reaching for the Stars has provided me with the perfect launching pad to help others. I was so excited when I learned they'd selected me. My family and I then came up with the campaign, Make Lemonade for Cerebral Palsy. As an ambassador for Reaching for the Stars, I invite you to make a difference. Be courageous. There are lots of things you can do. Have a lemonade stand in your neighborhood, at your school or church, any place that there are people, at your favorite restaurant. I did, and I raised $1,000 at my first one. Make a donation jar and take it to your favorite ice cream shop and ask if they'll help. Be a part of my foundation. Make Lemonade for Cerebral Palsy. Apply to become an ambassador for Reaching for the Stars. The ideas are endless. Whatever you do, it doesn't matter, but it's up to us to get the funding and beat this thing. I have 2 words for you. Be courageous. From this day forward, you need to be heard. My dreams are to one day appear on the Ellen Show, appear on Dancing with the Stars, go on a shoe shopping trip with my best friend when I graduate from my new therapy program, and to create a movement so vast and contagious that everyone wants to be a part of it. And to be known like Susan G. Coleman's The Power of Pain for Cancer, but instead, it'll be the power of love for Make Lemonade. What are your dreams? I leave you with 2